All right, so since we had some questions in regards to the 24-hour race, I will use this video to answer them. So this is going to be the track layout as always, as we always also discussed in the qualifier races. The old school layout of the Notchlife, since this is what they actually used back in the day for group 5 races in the DRM. The Grand Prix didn't exist at that time. And we will do 4 laps. And there will be no way of getting into the Grand Prix because it's also going to be locked, that area. So there won't be any mandatory pit stops. But what we will do is, if you are crashing someone, as it always has been the rule, you will go into the pits for a stop and go. Or if you can't drive, you can then wait at the sidelines and wait for 10 seconds. So I'm just going to showcase this right now. Let's just say that I'm in the Rover, for example, and this car right here is my opponent, right? And let's just say I'm coming from here and I crash into him. Then he is allowed to instantly just reset. So I say this again because some people don't understand it. He, right, the guy I was hitting can instantly reset. He does not have to pit. He does not have to wait. He can just reset and go. Me, on the other hand, I have to make a decision. I either have to go onto the sideline, which I can't do because we magically go together. But just imagine that this would be the way we would go. I would either have to go to the sideline to make room, wait here for 10 seconds, and then I can reset. Or at the end of the road, before the next lap, I would pit. Then I don't have to wait 10 seconds. I can just basically stop, go, reset, and just drive. So that's the 2 options that we have. So that's the first thing, okay? Keep in mind that we will have a recording, so this is actually we can review this if you didn't do it. Now, for crossing the limits of the grass and whatnot and other things, this is a different problem, because we might have a plugin that's able to see that, and that will then maybe calculate certain amounts of times for you in the background. But this plugin hasn't worked in recent times, and the person who told me that they would basically update it didn't do shit. So we probably are going to have to run with the calculation of our distance. And this is the way it's going to work. So you're going to go to your UI apps, you're going to go to adding UI, and you will put it in air, and you will see airspeed chip computer. And this airspeed chip computer will basically count your distance that you have, okay? So this airspeed computer will be a little bit more accurate than the base one, but you can also use that one. Preferably, that's what we want you to do, is use both of them. And then while you drive, they will both go up. And then you will basically be able to see how many distance, how far you went, so to say, right? So this is the first thing to keep in mind. You're driving along, you're coming to the end of the pit stop, and if you see that the end time is approaching, you have to go here to the pit stop, and you will then do a screenshot of your distance, right? So you're just going to do a screenshot of this. On Windows, you can do it with Shift S and the Windows key, and select this area, and you will have a screenshot, and then you can post it into the you can just go here into the events, and then you see what stint you were doing, and then you go here into the link, and you see here also the different times, and then you just post your screenshot here together with whatever time it was, what stint you did, and there you go. Then after you did that, you'll leave the server unless you're staying in for another stint. But you leave the server, and if you are coming in, you will not drive at 1 p.m. or at 16 or whatever. You drive at 1:10 or at 16:10 or 19:10, right? Or 10 p.m. 10. So you have 10 minutes basically to do the switch, and you wait until the 10 minutes are passed. You set your distance thingies to 0, and then you go again. So that's how it's gonna work, and it's pretty straightforward. Now, some people discussed about, okay, but what if I can do another lap? If you see, hey, it's 10 minutes until the next thing, you can still do. So let's say the next stint is at 4 p.m., right? If it's 3:50 for you, it's time for you to pit. If you're doing your lap or you just started a lap, you can do it. But if you are in the middle of the Nürburgring, you will have to pit. If you close the pitting, you have to pit, because if you are driving another one and you crash and you don't make it back by 4, that lap isn't counted. And we only count screenshots that are being done in the pit. So you are going to come here to the pit stop. So you can finish your lap, but it has to be before 4 p.m. So if it's 3:50, you're well advised to coming to pit, to wait here, to make a screenshot of the distance that you did and put it into the Discord. Now, there's no reason why that should be disadvantaged, because in testing with the same car within one team, there was someone who did 6:50 and another guy did 7:45. So within the same team with the same car, there would have already been a difference of 2, 3, or 4 laps in just one stint alone. So the difference that someone else might just start a lap and you finish the lap will not be there. So it's very important to understand. Now, the next thing is that if let's just say hypothetically we wouldn't do that and everyone would just randomly stand along in the Nürburgring, how the hell would the next guy know where you left? And how the hell would we know that it's true? Because it doesn't really make a difference anyways where the new guy starts, because we're driving in time, right? So it doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't really make a difference. And it just would be completely horrible to control. So this is how it's gonna be. You will have to look into the Discord and you see the countdown and you see, okay, the next event is here. I'm going there and I see, okay, this will go down to a more detailed thing, and you see, okay, it's at 1:10, this will start, and then you can start your stint. And that's pretty much how it's gonna be. So other than that, there's no mandatory pit stop unless you have to go here because it's about the time of your stint is about to end. The other option is that you crash someone, you go here for stop and go because it's faster for you than just waiting 10 seconds after you crash someone. There's no other penalties for anything else. The crashes are counted if you hit someone from behind. Okay, if you are running around in the grass trying to overtake people and then you re-enter and you crash someone and you're like half-ward in front, this is something for the disputes. This can then be discussed after the race, and the person who did that behavior will get a penalty, and the person who was punished by that or was the victim of that will get a boost in time. But these are things that are discussed afterwards. In order to make sure that people are actually leaving the server, we will restart the server. Also because some people said, "Oh, the server is so long on for." So I don't think it makes a difference if the server is on for 5 months, but because we did this before and it was never a problem. But we will restart the server every 3 hours, so to make sure that people are leaving, because the other teams need to rejoin. And if the old people are still in the server, then we have more lag than we need, and we have, in theory, if 2 stints are still there, we have 20 people at the max, and the new 10 people can't join. So in order for people to leave, the server will be restarted. Okay. So after you're done with your stint, you send a screenshot, you have to leave. That's about it. Okay, there's another question. I would like to know more about crash repairs. Will it be possible to hold the insert button to return to the track, or will I just have to repair the car and return from the grass? Will it be possible to hold the insert button to return to the track? Or will I just, I don't know what that means. But what I can tell you is it's not allowed to spawn a new car, even if it's the same car. And it's not allowed to teleport or anything. So I give you an example here in the wheel. There is an option to repair the car. This just repairs me on the spot. And then there is an option to put me to the last street, like this. This is not allowed. This is teleporting you. Even if it's under the repair menu, this is not allowed. The only option that is allowed, let me just crash my car here. So I just did some damage, lost the wheel. Okay. Now, if I go here and I click repair, it doesn't work for some reason. Maybe because I work with some plugins right now and I don't have the rights to this or whatnot. But if I press the button on my keyboard, it repairs me on the spot. And this is how you should do it. So you're gonna have to bind a key or something on your steering wheel or your controller or whatever, so you can insta repair here on the spot, and you don't have to wait and you don't have to teleport, because teleporting, resetting the street and stuff like this is not allowed. The only option that's allowed is you flipped over and for some reason you're under the map, then you're allowed to use the set me back to street kind of thing. Okay, then you're allowed to use this. It will set you back to the last street. If that teleports you further ahead, that where you've been, that would normally mean that we would give you penalty of the amount of minutes that the lap is averaged. But in this case, it doesn't matter, because you are basically it's about the meters you do, not where you are in the race. So I hope that answers the questions. And one last thing, which is important for all the team members, is this is how your sheet should look, and all of you and your team have access to this. So if your team leader hasn't sent you this, you should directly come to me, because something is definitely wrong. So your sheet should look like this, so that you know the time zone of the other guys in your thingy, in your team. And for example, for me, I'm doing 3 stints, and I know here this is my local time, right? And this is, no one can do this for you. You have to do this for yourself. So each team has to do this for themselves. So you know, okay, I'm doing this in this time, then I give it to the next guy, and then my next stint is here. So you know exactly when you actually start to drive. Okay, so I hope that clears it up, and enjoy the race.